Committee of Adjustment hearing. We have 3 meetings tonight, the public meeting of planning after this, and then our regular meeting of council at 6 p.m. So call the meeting to order. Are there any disclosure of conflict of interest? Seeing none. Motion to accept the agenda. Councillor Massey.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Madden, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry accepts the agenda for the Committee of Adjustment hearing on Monday, November 24th, 2025.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on the agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion is carried. There are none opposed. Okay, moving on to ratify the minutes. Councillor Madden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Martin, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry accepts the Committee of Adjustment hearing minutes for Monday, September 8th, 2025.
Any discussion on the minutes, errors or omissions? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried, none opposed. Okay, moving on to minor variance. MV 08 2025, Richard and Manon Garo. Councillor Martin.
Moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor Williams, that it is recommended of the Planning Department that the Committee of the Adjustment approve minor variance application MV 08 2025 as submitted.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. Welcome, Jacob.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the minor variance for this evening, as you mentioned, Messieurs Richard and Manon Garo. The address 78 Victoria Street East in Alexandria. So this is an overview of Alexandria. It's the purple property you see on the, I guess, bottom right corner. It's in the middle of a residential in Alexandria here. A little close up. So it's the purple property that you see right there. Single family, close to Victoria Street East, and then there's a residential accessory storage building at the end of the driveway. So that's the property we're discussing this evening. That's the house, so that's the dwelling that's closer to the property. The garage is at the back. I'll show it a little bit later because what's being discussed here is more in relation to the garage that you see right there. So that's the residential accessory storage building that currently exists as of today. So the purpose for this application, it's to seek relief from our zoning bylaw, specifically for the interior yard on the east. So the interior yard depth minimum setback, what's normally required for an accessory storage building is 1.5 meter. The applicant here is proposing to construct an addition to the existing storage building at the same setback as what's existing right now, which is 0.45 meters, so 18 inches. So we're actually asking for the reduction to go down to 18 inches to be able to construct the addition of the garage. So the effect of this application, if passed, the owner will be able to construct the addition on the existing garage. So that's the proposed location. So as you can see, it's just south of the existing accessory storage building. So you'll see that the description, I guess, of the relief is really specific to the addition onto the existing garage. So the minor variance here would apply only to the addition of that garage. So if in the future the owner would want to construct another accessory storage building more on the south, he would have to respect the 1.5 meter unless he comes back for another minor variance. So this variance here is specifically for the addition and at the same time to make the existing storage building compliant as it's already too close to the property line. So the official plan designation, urban settlement area for in Alexandria, residential district. And as you can see, all the surrounding area is also the same thing, residential district. And our zoning designation pretty much matches the same. So it's residential all around. There's that property that's R4, but besides that, mostly single family dwellings all around. The use for this property, so the use will not change. It's currently used as residential. We're only discussing the addition of an accessory storage building for residential purposes. So the new attached garage would be built on the south, lying exactly where this existing garage is. As I mentioned, surrounding uses, mostly residential all around. Existing buildings, so there's a single-family dwelling with attached decks, and there's the storage building, and we're only discussing the setback for that for that garage. So that's the property looking from the other side. So that's the dwelling on the right side, and on the left side, the garage that you see. That garage is currently 18 inches, or approximately 18 inches from the property line, which is approximately where the existing wood fence is right now. So that's the setback that you have. So the new garage would be constructed, I guess, behind that existing accessory storage building. So that property, 0.25 acres, frontage 15 meter on Victoria Street East. So everything is existing, everything is compliant with the zoning bylaw. The building height will also be maintained. There is a building permit that will be required for the construction of this new garage. So the only thing, as I mentioned, that's not compliant with this proposal is the east setback. So the interior yard east setback, which is 1.5 meters. We're going to have the new garage here is approximately 18 inches from the east property line. So that's where it is. So when on site a little bit closer. So from the front, from where I'm standing, and from the road, you will not see the new addition. It's going to be like behind that garage right there. So nothing will be visible from there. So this is the 4 tests for minor variance. So every minor variance, we have to apply these 4 tests. So the first one maintains the general intent of the official plan. So in this case, as I mentioned, the official plan designation is residential district. So what's existing now as far as use is exactly compliant with what the general intent of the official plan. And same thing for number 2, intent and purpose of our zoning bylaw. The property is zoned R1. Accessory buildings are permitted in R1 properties, so residential accessory storages such as that one are compliant with our zoning bylaw. Deemed suitable and desirable for the surrounding areas, and is it minor in nature? So they go together. So I'll just show it from the back here. So I'm standing in the property, looking at that same garage from the back. So the only property, I guess, that would be affected by this minor variance is the property on the east. None of the neighbors, so we advertise as per Planning Act, none of the neighbors expressed any concern as of yet, no agencies either. So as I mentioned, the fence is right there, it's existing. We're only adding to that garage going south. So desirable in intent and minor in nature. In this case, it was considered as it was because it's not affecting any properties on the east, but the situation is already existing as that garage is already at that same setback from that property line. So that's again in the backyard looking south, I guess. So the wall that you see on the left side is where the new addition will be going there. And as I mentioned, that minor variance is only applicable to that structure. So any other structure that would be built in that backyard would have to comply with the zoning bylaw. So recommendation, it's the recommendation of the planning department that the Committee of Adjustment approve minor variance application MV08-2025 as submitted. Thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Jacob. Any questions or comments from members of the committee? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk to.
Does anyone wish to speak in favor or against the application being presented? A second time, does anyone wish to speak in favor or against the application being presented? A third and final time, does anyone wish to speak in favor or against the application being presented?
Okay, seeing none. So we have a resolution. All those in favor of the resolution? Motion is carried, none opposed. Okay, moving on, Deputy Mayor Williams to adjournment.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Massey, that there being no further business to discuss, the Committee of Adjustment hearing was adjourned at 5:39 p.m.
All those in favor? Motion is carried, none opposed. Okay, moving on to the public meeting of planning for Monday, November 24th, 2025. Call the meeting to order. Are there any disclosure of conflict of interest? Seeing none, motion to accept the agenda. Deputy Mayor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Massey, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry accepts the agenda for the public meeting of planning on Monday, November the 24th, 2025.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on the agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. None opposed. Moving on to the minutes of the planning meeting of Monday, October 27th, 2025. Councillor Cadell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Manley, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry accepts the minutes of the public meeting of planning of Monday, October 27th, 2025.
Thank you. Any discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. None opposed. Okay, moving on to zoning bylaw amendments. First one up is zoning amendment bylaw Z10 2025, Zawaliska.
Thank you, Mr.
Close,
Mayor.
Jacob? Go ahead.
Yeah, so the applicant, Andre and Minerva Zawilsla, property address 18506 Huey Munro Road in the village of Apple Hill. So that's Apple Hill right there. So it's again that purple property. So it's right in town. It's right in Apple Hill, heading east, like towards Alexandria, I guess, but still in the village. That's a little close up of the property. So the property is still zoned institutional. It was used as a church before, and just south of there's a cemetery. Then there's another church, and then there's the Apple Hill Community Center. So it's just in front of that. It fronts Huey Munro. All the other properties are facing Old Orchard. This one is facing Huey Munro. There's no cemetery on that property. So the property line that you see there is the line where there's a cemetery, and then there's the previous church property, I guess I could say, but there's no cemetery on that property itself. There it is. That's another view. So I just put that one there. So you see where the cemetery is and where the property lines are. So there's the driveway facing Huey Munro, and then it's just vacant land. The septic system is there as well. So that's the property. That's a photo. So the purpose for this application, it's to rezone the property from institutional, because it was used as a church, to rezone it to rural hamlet. So there's no special exception. We're just, the intent here is basically just to rezone that property as rural hamlet so it can be used as, for residential purposes. When this is passed, so right now it's currently a church, so once the zoning is passed, we'll be able to change the building use to residential. So pretty much like we did in Maxville a few years ago. The building code will not permit the change of use unless the zoning is, it's applicable law, so it has to match. So that's why we're changing the zoning to simply rural hamlet to be able to have a residence on it. So this church will basically be used as a residential dwelling. So the official plan designation, rural settlement area for Apple Hill. So rural settlement area, so it's not like Alexandria where it's an urban settlement area where we'll have like another specific like residential or commercial district or employment district. This is really just rural settlement area. Residential, institutional are all uses that are encouraged in these settlements. So even though it's not specifically residential district, a residential property is still compliant with the official plan designation of this property. So that's the explanation of what I explained. So any low density, so residential dwelling that are privately serviced, septic and water, are compliant with the OP for this property. So it does match the intent of the OP. Zoning designation, so it's currently zoned as institutional. So as I was saying, all the green that you see there, so there's the other church, there's our property that are all south of that property. So this I guess, blue box that you see there will be rezoned to residential hamlet. So it will go back to orange. So as you can see also, it's surrounded by orange, so surrounded by residential district, residential hamlet. So it will comply with the intent of the zoning designation as well. So yeah, single-family dwelling are what I guess rural hamlet is made for. It's made for residents and accessory buildings. So in this case, we will have a dwelling and an accessory building. It is privately serviced, so well and septic system. So it is consistent with both the zoning and the OP. So surrounding use, as I explained, mostly residential lots all around. On the south, there's another church, and then there's rural properties heading west because you're heading out of town. 1.43 acres. The minimum for a rural hamlet is 1 acre, so it's compliant with the zoning bylaw. There's no change, so there's no severance happening here or anything. It's not like the surplus where we're splitting the property. In this case, there's absolutely no change in the area and in frontage, which are both compliant. So there's 2 buildings currently on the property. There's the church, which will become the dwelling, and there's the accessory storage building on the south, which will remain. So again, here, no proposed changes. Although there's no survey that have been submitted, we can see that everything is compliant. So lot coverage, septic system is far enough from property lines, setbacks can all be accommodated with the existing property lines. So there's no need for any variance of whatnot. So it's all compliant. That's the existing driveway. The building that you see there is a church. At the back, it's an addition, and way at the back where you have the flag is the accessory building. So that's the entire building, the brick building, and the white vinyl will all be, when we can issue the permit, will all be changed to a dwelling, to a single-family dwelling. So setback, as I mentioned, are okay. Lot coverage also. There's an existing driveway which will remain on Huey Munro. Frontage is compliant. Civic number will remain as well, 18506. So the change of use for the house will be required. So in this case, the owners were kind of made aware only that this was not compliant after they bought the property. Something happened during the sale and the realtor. When we made them aware that it was not compliant, because they came in for a permit, so like they came in to apply to us, and we told them it's not compliant. So they did all their work, like they went to the Bereavement Act office. They confirmed that there was never a cemetery there. There's no one buried there. The church can be changed, so they hired an engineer to confirm the structure is still okay. They hired a designer to make sure fire separation. There's no fire separation is required, but there's enough exits, all the rooms, there's enough windows, so we permitted there to stay in the building because they weren't aware. We were not going to throw them on the street, but all the work has been done. So basically, when this passed, after the 20-day appeal period, we're ready to issue the building permit right away. So all the work has already been done by the owners. It's really just this that we're working on now to make it all compliant, I guess. So that's just, again, the same picture. That's a picture from the road. So we're looking south. The actual church is behind the trees right there. So what you see there is actually where the septic system is located. The property line is where the trees are. So that's what it looks like. The driveway is on the right side right there. So this is looking west. So what you see down the road is the actual village of Apple Hill, and residential properties all around, similar to what's there. So the looks of the church will remain pretty much the same. Of course, there's going to be minor changes it'll look more like a dwelling, but in general, the main structure of the building will remain existing. There you go. So the Planning Act basically says that council is allowed to make such amendments. The PPS and the county's official plan. So as I mentioned, the property will, it complies with the official plan, complies with our zoning bylaw, because we're really just changing this to residential hamlet, not site specific. So if they sell the property or whatever happens, it will only be able to be residential after that. So we're changing the use and the designation to residential. So in conclusion, proposed zoning amendment conforms to the SDG official plan. It's consistent with the PPS, and it's compliant with the Township of North Glengarry zoning bylaw. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions from members of council? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Just more of a comment, if I may, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations to the people who bought this building and are repurposing it. It's saving what is a heritage building in North Glengarry, and otherwise it probably would have remained vacant and ended up eventually being torn down, and so we'll have this building for a long time in the future. And as far as, the heritage is concerned, this is a good news story. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions or comments from members of council? I'll ask the clerk to ask the public.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Does anyone wish to speak in favor or against the application being presented? A second time, does anyone wish to speak in favor or against the application being presented? A third and final time, does anyone wish to speak in favor or against the application being presented? Thank you.
Okay. Nothing further on that. Moving on to zoning bylaw amendment B, zoning amendment bylaw Z11 2025, Dorico.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the owner for this file, Ms. Stephanie Derico, the property, 1250 and 1280 Tannery Road in Dalkeith. That's where it is right there. So you see the red line is the 417, and the yellow box that you see on the bottom right corner is Dalkeith. So it's pretty much in between there. It's just south of Herb's Plaza, just to locate everybody there. So that's the property. So the property line on the southwest follows the creek, and then both dwellings, there's two dwellings on this property. I'll explain a bit later, but both dwellings have frontage on Tannery Road, both 1280 and 1250. So that's just a little close-up. So you see there's one dwelling on the top left corner, and there's another dwelling closer to the road, 1280. It's also fronting on Tannery Road. So that's what we're doing here. So the application for this zoning bylaw, it's to rezone both the retain and the severed property. So this is actually, although there's two dwellings, it's a little bit different. It's still considered as a surplus dwelling for the needs of the farming operation. In this case, there are two dwellings, one on each portion. So the purpose for this application is to rezone the retained portion. So the larger portion to prohibit, as you can see here, additional residential development. So there's one existing single-family dwelling. It will remain. None will be able to be constructed after. So even like with the new rules, like this property, the zoning will prohibit any additional residential units. And it's to acknowledge also the deficiency in lot area from 74 acres to 21 acres. So this is still a surplus dwelling. So as you know, our agricultural lots are supposed to be 74 acres minimum. In this case, it's existing, but it's already deficient. So it's already too small. So we're simply acknowledging the 21 acres. And it's to rezone the severed portion. So I'll show it on the next slide. So it's the smaller portion, 1.1 acre, also compliant with our zoning bylaw, from ag to special exception to this one, simply prohibit agricultural use. So this is the severance. So the severance has already been approved out at county level. So the blue portion is the retained portion, and the pink portion is the severed. So as you can see, there's one of the dwellings that's remaining with the severed and one with the retained. So this is what we normally tell people that cannot happen with surplus dwellings. So basically, in this case, it's the second we have since I started working here. Because the two dwellings have been there for longer than when the surplus dwelling rules have been applied to the province, this is why this is permitted. So the owner have demonstrated that both dwellings were constructed way before, so it can still be considered as a surplus dwelling. Now even when we issue like our zoning bylaw permit secondary home in agricultural lands, they will recommend that the secondary home be built closer to where the farm is. So in this case, it's not at all. And the reason for that is because technically we're not supposed to split the two houses. This surplus rule is not supposed to be a freebie for this, but this is permitted because it existed long before these surplus dwelling rules came into effect. So that's simply why it's permitted. So the larger portion is the 21 acres, the retained, and the pink is the severed portion. It has another dwelling on it. It's the 1.1 acres. Sorry. Okay, there you go. So official plan designation, agricultural resource lands, zoning designation. It's, sorry, in this case, it's rural, but it's also, as you can see, there's a lot of floodplain. So the house is actually constructed in the floodplain. So just to show you how far back this was constructed, probably before these layers were even created. So the 1250 is actually, it's existing right now. There's like, with this zoning bylaw, no houses would be able to be constructed, but regardless, there's a lot of floodplain there, so it would maybe be prohibited anyway. So it's all, it's not rural, sorry, it's ag and floodplain. Size and area, so as I mentioned, there's a dwelling on each. One will be 21 acres, one will be 1.1 acres. Both will be made compliant with our zoning bylaw. Both frontage are compliant in this case. And surrounding areas, so the larger portion, it's like just north of there's fields and there's a 417, so it's more rural residential and farmland all the way around basically. And then there's herbs and the 417 heading north. So it's in total, it's 22.4 acres. As I mentioned, this severance was already approved at county level. So this is really just to satisfy two conditions from B45-25. So it's typically, at the end of the day, this is just a basic surplus dwelling zoning that we're doing here. So there's currently 4 buildings on the property. So there's one single-family dwelling, 1250 Tannery, that's going to be kept with the agricultural portion and the 2 accessory buildings. So I'll show it with pictures later on. So these 2 buildings will need a change of use to ensure they don't have any, no, sorry, they won't because they're staying with the agricultural portion, sorry about that. And then there's the single-family dwelling at 1280, which is on the smaller portion, and it only has the dwelling. And there's the 2 existing driveways, 1250, 1280, that are going to remain, one for each dwelling as well. So this is 1280, so that's the dwelling that's closer to Tannery Road. As you can see, single-family dwelling, it's got its own driveway, and that's just looking south. You can see the corner right there. So that's one of the properties, and then if you look on the other side, like just north of there, there's the other driveway, longer driveway for 1250, and then there you see the 2 buildings. That's the dwelling at the end of the driveway. That's just one dwelling, and then if you turn around and you look towards the road, there's those 2 accessory buildings. So all of these 3 structures are remaining with the agricultural lands, even though there may be room, there's no residential dwelling that will ever be permitted on that property. So this is the same as the other surplus dwelling. Council can do that. This is permitted just because of the surplus dwelling, so we can create these types of severances as long as we pass a zoning bylaw to prohibit residential on one and prohibit agricultural on the other. So this is what we're doing here. So in conclusion, based on these facts, so the proposed zoning amendment conforms to the SDG official plan, consistent with the PPS, and it's compliant, well, it will be made compliant with the Township of North Glengarry zoning bylaw. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. Any questions for our planner at this point? Seeing none, I'll ask, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I just forgot to mention, we did not receive on both zoning, no comments from public and no comments from any agencies, sorry.
Okay, I'll ask the deputy clerk to ask 3 times to the public.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Does anyone wish to speak in favor or against the application being presented? A second time. Does anyone wish to speak in favor or against the application being presented? A third and final time. Does anyone wish to speak in favor or against the application being presented? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Jacob. And we will move to adjournment. Councillor Manley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Massey. There being no further business to discuss, the meeting was adjourned at 6 p.m.
All those in favor? Motion is carried. Pretty proud of that, eh, Jacob? 6 p.m. right on the... Okay. Okay, we are moving into the regular agenda. Yep. Just gonna go grab Tim. I don't know what we need from right now. You guys didn't think Jacob would be done on time either, right? Okay, we'll get started. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our regular meeting of council for Monday, November 24th, 2025. I'll ask everyone to please stand for the national anthem. Okay, thank you, everyone. So I'll call the meeting to order. Are there any declaration of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof? Councillor Cadell? Yeah, so you just read it now. You just read out the, yeah.
Your microphone, Brian.
I've got it. So I, Brian Cadell, declare a pecuniary interest with item number 12, closed session land, on the November 24th, 2025 agenda. Council committee agenda for the following reason. The closed session item relates to land. As I am an affected landowner, I have financial interest in the outcome.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, moving on to the agenda, we have one deletion. We will be removing the PW 2025-23 Glengarry Snowmobile Club authorization. The president of the club has asked us to pull it off for now, and we will have some further discussions this week as we go forward. So that one, that's BI, that's, or number one, that's off. I'll ask motion to accept the agenda. Deputy Mayor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Massey, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry accepts the agenda of the regular meeting of council on Monday, November the 24th, 2025, as amended.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on the agenda? All those in favor? Motion is carried. None opposed. Thank you. Minutes of the regular meeting of council, Monday, November 10th, and special meeting of council closed session, Thursday, November 20th. Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Manley, that the minutes of the following meeting be adopted as circulated. Regular meeting of council minutes, Monday, November 10th, 2025. Special closed session of council minutes, Thursday, November 20th, 2025.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on the minutes? All those in favor? Motion is carried, none opposed. Moving on to delegations. We have the Glengarry Artists Collective, Bobby and Yvonne, coming up to present. Jeff, I'm going to have you accept. Yeah.
We would like to present you with our 7th gift of art from the Glengarry Artists Collective to be mounted in the Alexandria Louvre in the Sandfield Center. This is by Paulette Poirier, and it's something she took a picture of in the 70s, and it's the Alexandria Hospital from across from Mill Pond, correct? There's no name on the
But it was
back.
painted in the 80s.
Yeah. So this is our gift to you. Thank you for all your support that you give us throughout the year.
Okay, I will have Jeff come up and accept it.
Excellent.
Just like to say thank you very much, and I very much enjoy going to your, when you have all your paintings out, your gallery is beautiful, and we really enjoy going. I speak on behalf of the residents. Thank you for all you guys do. It's wonderful, and you know, this kind of touches close to my heart as I live right there, and seeing that. So I'd really hate for it to get stolen and end up in the mayor's residence. I'd feel very bad about it, but not really. So thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Just checking, we don't have cameras at the park, do we? No, yeah. Thanks. Okay, moving on to staff reports, Treasury Department, TR 2025-24, ice resurfacer borrowing bylaw. Councillor Manley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Move on myself, seconded by Councillor Madden, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report TR 2025-24, ice resurfacer borrowing bylaw, and that bylaw 4125, being a bylaw to authorize the borrowing of funds for financing of capital, ice resurfacer, be read a first, second, and third time and adopted in open council this 24th day of November 2025.
Okay, thank you. Zoe, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Community Services Department was approved for the purchase of an ice resurfacer for the Maxville Sports Complex with a budget of $175,000. This item was to be financed as long-term debt over a 10-year period. The ice resurfacer was purchased for $164,000 plus HST, which was below the budget. The Royal Bank of Canada is offering a rate of 3.9% for a 5-year interest term and can accommodate the cash flow quickly. This loan request would not meet the requirements to finance with Infrastructure Ontario, which is why staff recommend that council proceed with financing the ice resurfacer with the Royal Bank of Canada. The attached bylaw authorizes the borrowing of the funds. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to confirm, we're still at the 3.9. I just saw a note in there that it could be different as of today when we approve it. I'm just presuming we're still at the same rate.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. As of now, yes, it's the same rate. I'll confirm with RBC before passing the paperwork, but there shouldn't be any issues.
Good, thank you.
Great. Further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? The motion is carried, none opposed. Thank you. Moving on to TR 2025-25, borrowing bylaw for tile drainage. Councillor Madden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Martin, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report TR 2025-25, tile drainage borrowing bylaw 42-2025, and that bylaw 42-2025, being a bylaw to authorize the borrowing of funds for tile drainage works, be read a first, second, and third time and adopted in open council this 24th day of November 2025.
Okay, thank you. Zoe.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A boring bylaw is required for tile drainage works authorized under the Tile Drainage Act. The last boring bylaw was issued in 2017 for $200,000. The township has now met that capacity and requires an additional amount to be able to continue allowing tile drainage loans. The attached bylaw would authorize a borrowing capacity of $400,000. This does not have any financial implications to the township, as the money is received from the province and once repaid by the landowners is then remitted back to the province. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Questions or comments? Standard tile drain. All those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. Third quarter variance. Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor Williams, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report TR 2025-26, third quarter variance report for information purposes only.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Zoe.
Mr. Mayor. This report discusses the third quarter variance report for the period ending September 30th, 2025. Staff have reviewed the actuals and have provided copies of the attached variance report with comments. After the third quarter, the overall variance is 42%. This is largely due to capital invoices not yet being received. To support upcoming budget deliberations, the actuals up to November 20th have also been included. As of November 20th, you'll see the overall variance has increased to 61%. This is still below the variance threshold, however, there are still invoices that are outstanding. These figures provide a more up-to-date reflection on where the actuals are for each account, and as highlighted in the previous variance reports, insurance and utilities will be reviewed and updated in the draft budget that will be presented to council. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Questions or comments? Councillor Massey.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a note, Zoe, I said I'll go through it all this afternoon, but it's a very detailed report, and I like the way you structured it, and we can see the variance, and I must say this year we kind of, most of the budget items are within the guidelines that we had set, so good job on that, and a good presentation too, even though it's extremely long, but if to answer our question from the past, which we didn't know all the details, now we do, it's very broken down, so thank you, good job.
Yeah, and I think just when you look at the reds, a lot of them are on very small items. You know, they're $343 over or things like that. So, yeah, very good report. Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I concur. Very well laid out. The detail is excellent, and I'm happy to see that those overages are kind of under control for sure. I just have a question. Back when the HGMH pool reopened and North Glengarry became kind of a partner with that pool in doing the programming, I can see the line items for revenues and expenditures are there, but I don't know that we've ever had really a real report with regards to how that program is doing. Maybe it's probably Stephanie that would do that, but maybe we could get Stephanie to put together a report that details exactly how things are going, you know, how we're managing the revenues versus expenditures, because I know that when we went into this agreement, the idea was to mostly be sort of revenue neutral.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that that's actually happening.
That's good to do.
Thank you.
Okay.
But otherwise, great job.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions or comments? No? All those in favor? Motion is carried, unopposed. Okay, moving on to Public Works Department, PW 2025-24, 2025 winter maintenance. Councillor Madden. Oh, nope. Yeah. Oh, just, sorry, I'm looking at this number. Yep.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Manley, that the Council of Township North Glengarry receives report PW 2025-24, 2025 winter maintenance for information purposes, and the council authorizes the award of a winter maintenance contract to Alone Equipment Rental for $12,019.09. and that council authorizes the award of a winter maintenance contract to Power Lawn Care for $9,200, and that council authorizes the purchase of compact tractor to facilitate in-house winter maintenance in Dalkeith and Glen Robertson for $52,998.86.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this, we're very sad to see our very reliable contractor in the Dalkeith Glen Robinson retire. I mean, congratulations to him because it's well earned, very hard worker, and we did benefit because we've been changing road staff over time, and we've picked up, I'm going to say, his best operator, but that's my opinion. Our roads department's become very robust. But he was doing a lot of work for the township and a lot of legacy contracts that were awarded a long time ago. So it was a lot of work to dig into the ins and outs of because it's not just over public, the public works portfolio. It's all across the township of what areas we do snow removal winter maintenance separate from snow removal. That's actually one of the things that I was finding here difficult was that this contractor did a lot of snow removal for us and also did a lot of plowing and salting parking lots, sidewalks, sort of thing. So a lot of those, one of the things that you'll see in the 2026 budget is we've put up the budget for plowing and salting, and we brought down the budget for snow removal. And with the kind of new organization system that we've got, we'll be tracking a lot better how much we go and do snow removal, and we have now with these awards, we should have some really good lump sums for doing this maintenance. So to give you an example, this is the Dalkeith Community Centre parking lot for winter maintenance. One of the things we needed to investigate was making sure where the responsibilities lied for removing snow from the walkways versus the parking lot. So this is one of the things I initially put it in the tender, I got a price for, and then realized that the community centers actually take care of the walkways themselves. And it did spur a discussion about how to make sure that we're looking after those walkways, and we have standard procedures across each of the community centers to make sure we're covered from a liability perspective, which is great. Worked hard with the Parks Department for that. And so we went through each section. We'd figure out what needed to be cleared for snow, what needed to be cleared for walkways. This is the Menard-Ville site in that region. And they're across all sorts of sections. So something else that we did was we looked at also areas where we were doing the work ourselves, and perhaps it didn't quite make sense for us to do the work ourselves. The fire station in Alexandria actually is a good example that we looked at. We went and got prices for, which was great. It put a market price on what that was, but we found that we were effectively doing it for a lower cost. So the fire station, for example, isn't in the award. We just, because it was a tentative item, put a price on it. If we think the price is good, then we'll take it. We also did the tender so that we could award individual locations and individual services at each location with a preference to award it to one overall contractor. And all of the locations we decided, to award it to one contractor, so we don't have to coordinate. You're going to go plow the snow, and then you're going to go and salt after. We could have ended up in that situation because we had contractors who don't have the equipment to do salting, but it all worked out in the end, which is great. So these are just more locations, examples. I'm actually missing all of the sections. So the Glengarry Archives are in there. This is the parking lot that we clear the snow for on St. Paul Street. Island Park is in there, including the walkway at that section. The lagoons are a big part of it, so that always needs to be cleared so we can maintain the work going on there. The landfills as well, because we need to keep on going through the winter. And this is the Legion, so the Legion's included there. the municipal parking lot at 50 Main Street North, I believe, is the address where the chip stand is. It's included here as well. That was another one that we found, even though the price was good, the contractor we felt wouldn't fully be able to provide the same service that Brian does, because with Brian doing it for so long, he understands the ins and outs. It's a very busy parking lot, and just to take the lump sum price wasn't going to be worth, and we suspected the bidders may have underbid that just because not understanding how busy that parking lot is. So and we could do it for a good amount of money there as well. This is also the front of 265 Industrial. We found that necessary, not only because we've got the water infrastructure in the front, but because the waterworks team will be moving there in the winter. And when there's a big storm, the last place actually that gets plowed is the Public Works garage, because we go immediately out, plow everywhere else, and then do our own. But the waterworks staff are going to be operating out of there, so that front area needs to be cleared to make sure that they can continue their operations. We also have the pumping stations. They all need to be done. There's a lot of waterworks. This location here, Glen Robinson exterior, that's the water treatment well plant. This is the old 90 Main Street location. That's just our portion that we look after for the water treatment plant, so we can take deliveries and that sort of thing. And the award that we're recommending, I believe is the same contractor who's going to do the other section for the cafe. So that works out well as well. Okay, so then the other part of it was, I don't know if I've got the table up here. No. So the other part of this was that when we went back and looked at it, the price for doing the entirety of Glen Robinson and Dalkeith came to about $50,000. And the reason for that is those contractors had to float equipment from Alexandria or Maxville, or actually I think one of the bidders was from South Glengarry. They would have to float equipment up there and have that, and really expand. They need to kind of take into account the cost of expanding their operation to there. And that included the sidewalks for those sections. So one of the ideas that we came up with, and it's an option in there, or it's in the resolution because it's the option I recommend, is that instead of paying $50,000 a year for snow maintenance in Glen Robinson, Dalkeith, we purchase the same equipment really that they were going to use to do that work, and then we perform it ourselves. So we should be at a full staff complement. We're hiring right now, and we're in the final stages of interviews. We've been understaffed for a while, just with LTD, ongoing LTD issues that we've been able to staff up. So we're this is the shop that would be filled out. So we think we can make efficient use of that work by having staff members. We'd probably put the tractor in those locations. We're not floating it around, and then there'd be a operator with a pickup truck who has salt in the back, who can go to that tractor, fill up the salt as needed, and then hit the sidewalks. The plow also has a plow blade on the front of it, so they're also doing that work of the community centers. It's a little bit of a rearrangement of how we normally do things, but that was stuff that we had to go and do anyway, because we were already doing the detailed plow work in Glen Robinson, Dalkeith, the stuff that you couldn't get with the one-way blade. So yes, that was our recommendation. Instead of trying to pay year over year for that work, our recommendation was to go and do that one ourselves. If you do have the report, there is a table broken down which shows all the prices that we got for each of the sections. So the provisionals, we decided to do, if you look at that first column, that would mean that Dalkeith Community Center, the library, Glen Robinson Community Center, the landfill, the water treatment plant in Glen Robinson, the fire station, the fill site in Menard Road, and the municipal parking lot on 50 Main Street would all be done in-house, and the other sections would be done as per the first resolutions with those two contractors. I think that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Just looking at the pricing, and there was a sander. You're saying that Green Valley Kubota is the only one that has a sander in stock?
Correct. So, yes, the pricing was, through you, Ms. Mayor, the pricing was actually very close. The Quixote was the other one that provided a sander as well, but they couldn't have it until late February. And I think they were within $1,500 of the Kubota. There were 51,100 from Trottier.
$52,998, so $1,900 difference, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Further questions or comments? Deputy Mayor.
I'm just curious, Timothy, how do you plan on getting the sidewalk plow from Delkeith to Glen Robertson and back and forth? Just drive it? That'll take a while, I suppose, eh?
To say yes, and it's it's a similar story that we have in Apple Hill, Maxville, even Alexandria, because it's such a big town. So there's not a huge way around it. We do have a driver who's doing a Z course at the moment, so there is a possibility of floating, but at this stage I wouldn't be able to speak to whether that'd be a possibility or not. I think that would be more of a operational decision that we can talk to the guys in the field and make more efficient as we go. But at least we'll find a storage location at either one of them so that we can, at least we're not floating it between, Liheel or between Alexandria and those locations, so.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead. Councillor Massey.
Thank you, Jamie. On that point, I think we should seriously be looking at if we could find one on the cheaper side of float, because that's a long drive. And that's going to take all day to get there, an hour or two anyways, and then an hour or two back. And then if we could find and that's not a very big tractor at that price with this, no. So I think if you find a mini float, and then we have all the trucks in the world, I guess. So, yeah. No, but it's true. We did buy half-ton trucks and stuff like that, 3/4 tons. So, yeah, if we get a $10,000 float, I think we should add that up to that price. It would
Yeah, we might be
save
able
a
to
lot
find
of
a
time.
used trailer or something, so. Okay, go ahead, Councillor Madden.
And more to that point, if we're driving back and forth, ideally we find locations in both, so wherever it ends, it stays and starts next time, right? So it's not a back and forth. Just out of curiosity, I'm looking at the list. You had mentioned the archives, but I'm not seeing it on the list. Are we doing it in-house, or is it being contracted out?
Through you, Ms. Mayor. So no, the archives was actually taken over shortly before Gilles retired by Lalonde.
Oh.
So we were able to negotiate him to keep his previous price and continue that.
Okay.
But we did go through the archives, because that was just for the same services that Gilles was doing, and he was just doing the clearing.
Yep.
So then we were going around and doing the salting.
Yep.
And the walkways were not getting done by Gilles. So with the staff that's there, that's one where we're actually doing the walkways as well, because it's not like a community center where it's, you've got many volunteers of varying ages who can,
Yep.
organize getting that done. So so that portion, that's why that one isn't in there. But yeah.
Okay, good, thank you.
Okay, any further questions or comments? Yeah, go ahead, Councillor Massey.
Just on that trailer thing, could you get back to next meeting and try to locate one and then just add it up to this thing? Is that okay? It's just I want to make sure that it's done and then.
What?
Yeah, no, just It's just because it's, winter's very close, and, yeah. I think it'd be cheaper for us to do that than get somebody all day long to back and forth or so.
Go ahead.
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor, I don't want to speak for him, but I believe that the guys have may have been able to sort out some of the existing equipment that can float the tractor. That's why I don't want to speak to it now, but I can assure you that this is top of our mind. So we're currently, once we realize that we'd need to do it in-house, we've been pushing for this. So I just want to make sure I go out and meet with them, get exactly how we should be doing this the most efficiently. We do have some AZ drivers, and we've got another one who's almost finished his training. So if we do need additional equipment to make sure that we're doing it efficiently, for sure, I'll be back next meeting.
Okay, great. Go ahead, Councillor Madden.
The cost on the tractor, where are we moving it from?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So we have, right at the bottom of my report, so the funds will come out of capital. So we had $50,000 that we didn't spend in culvert improvements. Most of that was because of the, some of them were smaller, so they could come out of operating. Some of it was because we had a surplus from jobs for last year. So we really didn't touch that budget. So there's $50,000 of capital unspent that would be well suited to this.
Okay. Councillor
I
Massey
know
for the
from-
last time.
Yes, sorry. I've seen online that right now, Kubota and whatever have, no, I didn't search, I've seen it. They have 0% financing, so could you inquire into that?
Why would we finance if we have the money already in the
But-
budget?
Oh, it is in the budget. Okay. Sorry, it's just because I thought.
We'll be 0%.
We're getting interest on that.
Yeah. Okay, further questions or comments on this? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. There are none opposed. Thank you, Tim. Okay, items under the consent agenda, Councillor Manley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Move on myself, seconded by Councillor Madden, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry receives the items from the consent agenda for information purposes only.
Any questions on the consent agenda? All those in favor? Motion is carried, none opposed. Okay, notice of motion, next regular meeting of council is Monday, December 8th, 2025. Pardon?
Under council correspondence?
That's just correspondence, so we don't have to talk to it. Yeah. We do have a closed session tonight with, we believe we have 4 items to discuss in camera. So before we do that, I'll open it up for a question period. Any questions from anyone? No? Okay, thank you. So I'll ask, we'll take a 5-minute break and then we will go in camera. So thank you everyone for joining us this evening, and we'll continue. Thanks. Are we ready? Okay, go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
I move by myself, seconded by Councillor Massey, that council now rise and report from the closed session held on Monday, November the 24th, 2025, and that the regular council meeting now resume at 7:23 p.m. That the following motion be adopted, that the mayor and CEO clerk may be hereby are authorized to complete the said acknowledgement and direction relating to the property described herein, and that the CEO clerk be authorized to do all manner of act or anything to give effect to the lease agreement, and that bylaw number 44, 2025 be read a first, second, and third time and enacted in open council this 10th day of November?
Oh, that's a typo. It's the 24th.
Okay, the 24th day of November. And furthermore, that council direct staff to proceed as discussed in closed session, and that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute any necessary documents.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion is carried. Confirming bylaw, Councillor Manley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Move by myself, seconded by Councillor Madden, that the Council of the Township of North Glengarry adopts bylaw 45, 2025, being a bylaw to adopt, confirm, and ratify matters dealt with by resolution, and that bylaw 45, 2025 be read a first, second, third time and enacted in open council this 24th day of November 2025.
Thank you. All those in favor? Motion is carried. And Councillor Massey.
Thank you. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Manley. There be no further business to discuss. The meeting was adjourned at 7:25 p.m.
All those in favor? Motion is carried. There are none opposed. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Thanks to members of staff, council, and all the public at home. Thank you. Have a good evening.